I don't know exactly what this woman's purpose is, all right? It's supposed to be some kind of a journalist, which, unfortunately, for as far as I'm concerned, that immediately knocks you down a peg these days. Caitlin Clark have a boatload of nationally televised games, including a bunch of games that are on actual three-letter networks, ABC, or ESPN, or CBS.
America's team is what they're calling the Indiana Fever now. And Angel Reese's reaction says it all. That eye roll, that smirk. You can practically hear what she's thinking while Caitlin Clark keeps breaking attendance records across the league. But here's what's crazy. The numbers don't lie. While some players are posting reaction videos, Clark is causing 6 teams to upgrade to NBA arenas just to handle the crowd she brings. The Fever's games generated half of the WNBA's national TV revenue last season. Still think it's just hype? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
ESPN's 4 letters, but you get the point. They have some of the same kind of reach, or a very large reach, for their potential viewing audience, right? This is a cousin of Renee Montgomery, who is one of the quote-unquote owners that came out and trashed Caitlin Clark fans last year for the Atlanta Dream.
You know what's crazy? While Angel Reese is rolling her eyes at the America's Team title, the Indiana Fever have become a financial powerhouse that's reshaping the entire league. Reese's subtle dismissal was impossible to miss. That side-eye and dismissive demeanor on social media said everything without saying a word. But here's the thing about opinions versus facts. The numbers tell a completely different story. Let's talk about what's actually happening while Reese is throwing shade. The Indiana Fever's games aren't just popular. They're literally funding half the league's TV operations. Half. That's not just being successful. That's carrying the entire WNBA on your back financially.
She just tells it, comes out and says it, exposes herself. They're hating on Caitlin Clark because of her skin color. The fact is, I think she speaks for a lot of people in the legacy WNBA media or some kind of media, period. Well, let me start here. The Indiana Fever will make up 40% of all WNBA games on ESPN and ABC. There's also games on ION and CBS as well.
When one team generates 50% of all national television revenue, calling them America's team isn't hype. It's just math. Is Angel Reese secretly bothered by Caitlin Clark's success? I'm not saying she is, but the economic impact Clark has created is undeniable, and that kind of spotlight shift might sting a little. The proof: 6 WNBA teams had to completely abandon their regular arenas just to accommodate the crowds when the Fever came to town. The Chicago Sky booked the United Center. The Dallas Wings moved to the Mavs Arena. The Atlanta Dream shifted to State Farm Arena. And even the Connecticut Sun relocated to TD Garden. These aren't minor venue upgrades. These are massive NBA arenas that teams never dreamed they'd need for WNBA games.
Wow. I'm sick of this, and Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner. I don't care if I don't ever get invited to a WNBA-related events nor games anymore, all right? This makes absolutely no sense. Really? Because it makes perfect sense. And I swear they're putting all this money into that girl who ain't done shit but be white. Enough is a damn enough. So there it is. It's right out in the open. There's no confusion. They hate Caitlin Clark because she's white.
Imagine selling so many jerseys that you outsell the entire rest of your league combined. Not just rookies, everyone. That's exactly what Clark has done. Her jersey sales have topped the rest of the entire league put together. That's not just star power. That's economic revolution. What about the WNBA draft? When Clark entered the league, viewership skyrocketed to nearly 25 million, a mind-blowing 374% jump from previous years. For perspective, when Diana Taurasi was drafted, about 600,000 people watched. Clark brought in 40 times that audience. That's not growth. That's an explosion that transformed the league overnight. This isn't about disrespecting anyone's game.
She's got Black Lives Matter in her actual Twitter profile right here. I guarantee you she hates I'm just going to keep it real. She hates crackers like me. All right. They're jealous. They're petty. They're ornery because the straight white girl doesn't come into a league with a bunch of activists. And that's what this person is.
Angel Reese is an incredible player with her own impressive following, but there's a fundamental difference between posting reaction videos and fundamentally changing the economic landscape of your sport. One creates momentary buzz, the other creates lasting change. That lasting change is now hitting your television screens in a way nobody saw coming. The Indiana Fever aren't just selling out arenas, they're dominating airwaves with an absolutely mind-blowing 41 nationally televised games this season. That's 41 out of 44 total games. We've never seen anything remotely close to this in WNBA history. Think about that. Almost every single Fever game will be broadcast to the entire country. You know what's even crazier? The defending champion Las Vegas Aces are only getting 33 national TV games. The New York Liberty, just 32. That's an 8-game difference between the Fever and the next closest team. And in TV money, that gap represents millions in revenue that networks are betting on Clark to generate. Some players and fans are crying foul about unfair treatment. Why does one team get so much more coverage? But here's the reality check. TV executives don't schedule based on fairness. They schedule based on dollars. These networks aren't charities. They're businesses making calculated decisions about where viewers will tune in. And right now, the viewers are tuning in for Clark. When the Fever hit the court, ratings spike dramatically. When they're not playing, those numbers take a nosedive. This isn't about favoritism. It's about networks cashing in on a movement that's transforming women's basketball. They see the packed arenas. They see the social media buzz. And most importantly, they see the viewership data that tells them exactly which games people want to watch. The WNBA's attendance jumped a staggering 48% this year. You really think that happened by accident? That just randomly occurred the exact same year Clark entered the league? The WNBA All-Star Game crushed its previous viewership records with Clark's participation. People who never gave women's basketball a second glance are suddenly scheduling their evenings around Fever games. While social media feeds fill with reaction videos and side-eye drama, Clark stays locked in on her game. She's not posting clapbacks, she's posting double-doubles. And every assist, every three-pointer, and every sold-out arena is building something bigger than personal rivalries. It's building a financial foundation that will benefit the entire league for years to come. Here's the real kicker in all this drama. While Angel Reese is throwing shade, Caitlin Clark is throwing a financial lifeline to the entire WNBA. And guess what? Even the players criticizing Clark are about to cash in big time from her impact. The increased visibility is creating opportunities for every single player in the league. More national TV games, bigger sponsorship deals, and probably fatter paychecks coming soon. That's the beautiful irony. The same players rolling their eyes might soon be rolling in more money thanks to the Clark effect. So who's really winning? Everyone. The fans get better basketball, and the players, they all win financially. Even the eye rollers.